Hello, this is Yenta. First time casting a CPL match, see how this goes. So for tonight I'm going to be great, everyone can hear me. Tonight we're going to be casting a Week 2 Tier 2 matches between Cry Me a Reaver and Jin and Pandora's Patrol. We have 3 matches for you: AC vs Arcade, ZVT, Durandal vs nOm.Airn, a PVZ, and another ZVP vs Hexe and Memnon. Okay, sound a bit low. I can definitely turn that up for you. Let's see. Yeah, is it a game volume or voice? Voice is a tiny bit low. I will go a little bit. How's that for voice? Up the voice just a tiny bit. I can raise it a bit. Okay. Alright. Do you guys want me to restart the stream, or should I just continue from here since we're debugging live stream? Okay. Alright, let's switch over to the first game. Alright, we're gonna start out with the first game. Let's get right into it. And for some reason I am... Why am I following this player's screen? Okay, unlocked. In the top middle of the map, and this is Neo-Sylphid, we have our green Terran player, Arcade Plus. And down here, in the middle left side, we have our purple Zerg player, which is AC. So this is going to be a lot of fun filler chat now as we're waiting for these players to gear up. See AC scouting in a non-traditional way, going to the top. Usually you want to scout to the nearest natural of your opponent, so that would be this starting location over here up on the right hand side. The reason for that is you have a much better protection on that side, and you also have much faster feedback in terms of where your opponent is. Most players these days opt to go for a fast expansion build, especially when they're playing off against a Zerg player. May not be true for ZVZ, but definitely for ZVT and ZVP. Both Terrans and Protoss going for fast expand. Let's see what our Terran player is up to. Looks like a supply depot and then a barracks, so pretty normal opening build over for now. Got the SCV starting right now. Going out here, looking for the Zerg. We have our Zerg player putting down a 12 hatch. That is natural, perfectly normal 12 hatch opening. Let's see what it goes for. Does he go for a 2 hatch build order, or does he go for a 3 hatch build order? Got a drone scout and the gas. So we are doing a 2 hatch build order, it looks like. Maybe a 2.5 hatch. The Overlord is going to scout the Terran player now. The question for me is, does he realize that his Overlord is in danger, and does he run it away? He's running it away. It's going to be a slow escape. Yeah, it should be fine. This Overlord is going down here. Terran player now scouts our Zerg player. Our Zerg player is getting gas. He's up to 13 drones, getting one pair of lings to kill off the scouting SCV. Everything looks normal. Should be having a layer starting soon. SCV getting some harass down. The layer has not started yet. This Overlord got away with its life. And our Tyran player going for a fast expansion. Ooh, got some layer and speed action. Okay, so we're a little bit late on the layer. Both layer and speed starting at the same time. Some more lings coming out. Some more drones coming out. While the Tyran player is going for 2 racks. So this is a more of a aggressive opening from the Tyran player. You can have kind of a fast tech build off of 1 racks with a expansion, or you can have 2 racks academy with an expansion. Probably going to be seeing an academy start here just shortly. There we go. We'll see what the Tyran player is going for here. Is Arcade Plus going to go for like some kind of stim rush timing or something like that? Although it is a little bit late. That academy didn't start too early, so maybe I'm not too worried about a stim timing here. SCV going around and rescouting. I don't think Arcade knows yet what the tech choice is. So off a 2-hatch build, you have the choice of going for Lurkers or Muta. Depending on which one the Zerg goes for, it's very different to defend that. So what the Tyran player wants to do is he wants to keep his SCV alive for as long as possible to try to be able to get that information before it dies. If you're going for Lurker, you have to, well, you don't really have to, but you usually start the Hydrogen when the layer is about 50%. This gives you enough time for the Hydrogen to finish so that you can start Lurker upgrade as soon as the layer is done. And you can keep the SCV alive usually that long. Around that time is when speed kicks in, and that's when SCVs just die a natural death. But the SCV did not get that scouting information, so our Tyran player is playing in the dark. He's waiting for his scans come up. So let's see if he does scan. Waiting for the scan. This Overlord comes in. I'm not sure why the Overlord came in. Maybe just to double check the build. There are scans. He does scout the Spire. And he scouts over here that there is no hidden Hydrogen, although he doesn't see this left-hand side. Let's put the vision back on for both players. AC just hanging out here with some lings. His speed is finished. He's got his 3rd starting. Everything's looking good. This all looks very, very standard. Got 1 sunken. Nicely droned up here. Let's check the saturation. 11 drones here. It's a little bit oversaturated. And yeah, about 1-to-1 saturations here. So maybe you can take 1 drone from the main and go over there. Adding a macro hatchery. Yep, got too many minerals. Let's put down a macro hatchery. And the Tyran player is going for 4 racks play. He's putting down his turrets. He is playing a little bit greedy with the turrets, I would think. Oh, there we go. Get some more turrets. He's only got 1. Okay, there's a second one starting there. AC is gathering his Muta. He's got 4 Muta, 5 Muta now. He's got his +1 attack starting. So we're looking at a very standard ZVT. Let's see how the harass goes. Okay, the couple of lings out here got killed off. Arcade decides that it's time to go and push. Oh, will our Zerg player be able to hold this off? His 3rd base, building drones at his 3rd base. They usually build Muta off of your main hatcheries, and you build drones off your 3rd. Usually don't see the 3rd expo here. Usually put it up on top of a ramp on this map, just because it's much easier to defend a ramp. But this is a really sizable push, and I think AC is in quite a bit of trouble. He doesn't see this move out because he didn't have an Overlord and his lings got killed. So this may just be a very fast win here for our Arcade plus Tyran player. not running drones, transferring some drones probably to his third. We were really far off from having our lurker upgrade finished. Be natural falls. There's the GG. Let's update the score. In the meantime, while we're looking at the score, we can kind of talk about what happened last game. So, when you're playing as Zerg versus a Terran player, you really want to have vision on the Terran's base to see when they're moving out. AC did sacrifice his Overlord to go and check what the Terran's player's build is, and I do believe at that point he did see was 4 racks, so we should be playing, expecting a lot of M&M. But unfortunately, that Overlord wasn't in front of the Terran player's base. It wasn't over the ledge like usual. It was also kind of hard for him to get it over the ledge because of the way that he scouted with it, but maybe with some link support he'd be able to do that. Then his links died. Not sure if you saw how many, how big the M&M group was. It was quite big. So I think right there for that kind of build with so many racks early and such a big M&M force, I think you really would have needed to have a lot of Sunkens to defend that. He wouldn't have needed so many to defend his third if it was on top of a ramp, because muted on top of a ramp and do a lot of damage. Of course, we're also having the Muta kind of chip away from the M&M as they're crossing the map, and ideally keeping the M&M back. But the harass wasn't there. Terran felt safe. Just A moved across the map and the game ended. It's how it is sometimes. Zerg life. Get into game 2. Got a manner GL, have fun at the start of the game. So up here on this 2-player map, we have Arcade Plus coming in again with the same color, like a avocado green, coming up here at the top. Ooh, AC not being very confident. Confidence is a very big part of the game. Let's work on our confidence, guys. And AC down here in the bottom as the red Zerg player. Arcade Plus helping AC with his confidence. Exactly. Never give up, never surrender. Oh yeah, Arcade's a mannered guy. He wants to have the best game possible, right? You don't want to have these like 5-minute, 10-minute games because you feel a little bit dirty. You want to have these epic 1-hour fights, slugging it out. That's when you feel good. Even if you lose, you feel good, right? You took your opponent to an hour game. You can feel good about that. This time around, we have AC scouting up. So here there are a couple of different scouting paths for Overlord on this map. I personally like to take this, just the risky one, going right over the ledge. But you can also go and point your Overlord directly to this black pool here. If your opponent is not opening mech, then the Overlord will be fine here. If your opponent is opening mech or some kind of tech build where they're going like a Wraith, then not so much. You're going to lose it pretty fast. But usually then you also see them wall in, specifically on this map. You can kind of wall in here, so they're not going to make many Marines, and you can abuse that to kind of get it out of here, get it out of harm's way. From our Zerg player, it's the same build as last game, 12 hatch. Second Overlord is over here. It's an anti-bunker rush Overlord. So your second overlord usually wants to go to your natural just to make sure there aren't any Turan shenanigans going on. And once your pool pops, you're safe, and that overlord can be repositioned somewhere else on the map. There are a lot of good places on this map to kind of hide your overlord. There are some ledges here, there are some ledges over here. Let's check out what our T player is doing. So I'm a little bit scared for this overlord. Losing the first overlord is a little bit, it hurts. I mean, it's not game ending, but it hurts. Arcade Plus is not seeing that. He's going over here. Going for a regular, well, he's going for the same build he went last game. Getting that second early Rax before he gets his academy up. So we're likely going to be seeing the same game, well, the same build as the last game. He's going to be going for like a 4 Rax pressure build, and we're going to see how the Zerg player handles that. Turan SCV is running away, harassing a little bit of a drone harassment action here. AC is not opting for any lings this time, so he's not opting to kill the scouting SCV. It's not ideal, especially since better, like more experienced Turan players, they will take this SCV and repeatedly like SCV drill, attack drill on your drone so they can take down a drone really fast. I've had that happen to me a couple of times. Thank you, Exit. And let's check our saturation. So we are oversaturated in the main. Got to work on that AC. Got to be checking your mineral line saturation and make sure that you are only mining one drone to one mineral patch at each base before you oversaturate. Running away with the drone to try to hide a fast third. We got a Spire starting here. So this time, this SCV is paying for itself. Link speed is done because it knows he doesn't have to waste any scans, right? Ooh, what do we got here? We got an early move out, but it doesn't have any medics with it, so I don't think it's going to get anything done. One Sunken should be enough to hold us, especially with these lings. It's only 2 lings. Lings die. We are again caught out of position with this Overlord. Engineering Bay starting because we are almost at the point where Muta are done, the Spire is up. These Marines go back into the natural. They were just kind of scaring AC into making Sunkens, and he did succeed. So this is kind of, well, this is a little bit of an overreaction. You only need really 2 Sunkens if there are no medics to hold what he was getting thrown his way. And also now you don't have money for Muta, man. Drones, creep colonies, and Sunkens are expensive. Lings up here. So if you're not watching your lings like 24/7, instead of putting all of your lings in front of the Turan's base, just put 1 ling and then put the rest of the lings off to the side. That way, if he comes out and you're not fast enough to run that ling away, you only lose 1 ling instead of all 4 or 6 of your lings, depending how big that group is. So we don't see any Muta yet out on the map. AC has decided to re-drone instead. He does have 4 sunken colonies, so he does feel pretty safe. That's probably a good bet. Although we are giving up harassment. Arcade is respecting the possibility of Muta harass still, putting down a lot of turrets. Not sure I like this turret position down here. It'd probably be better if it was over here. Like 2 of them next to each other. Maybe worried that the Muta get up here into the corner, and then it'd be pretty hard for the micro against that from the corner or from this side. But yeah, overall, good turret placement. Got the turrets here going up to 4 racks plus a factory. Got your turrets here protecting your production. A lot of times, what you can see is when the Turan moves out with this push, the Zerg will have like a group of lings and the Muta, which are now just popping out, a group of Muta, which will backstab. And if that group of Muta and that group of lings gets on top of the production, it's going to really slow down the Turan. You can really kill a Terran player quite fast that way, or at least force him to come back, which allows you to get some Sunkens up. A little bit of a weird timing here where there aren't that many Muta. Only 5 Muta right now, very late Muta too. We're also getting Muta attacks. Like, we're investing into Muta upgrades and stuff, but we're not really making that many Muta, so I'm not sure if it's worth it. We do see here Moli and Carapace, Hive going. So just based off this and the fact that we are lacking a Hydra Den, I would say that we are going for Crazy Zerg here, trying to get up to really fast Ultras. Let's see how Arcade's doing. He doesn't have +1 yet, so a little bit late on the upgrades. It's going to finish soon. I didn't see when +1 started, but it feels like it was late. Usually a Terran player has +1 soonish. Going for like an SK here. Getting our second engineering bay, getting our science facility, so we can start +2, and going for 2-port vessel. Still on 4 racks. He is not being aggressive this game. I'm guessing that's because he forced 4 Sunkens and he saw the 4 Sunkens. In the meanwhile, our Zerg player has Hive. He's starting on Adrenalings. Still making Muta. Killing some supply depots here. This is good. I do see that AC is not stacking his Muta. So Muta harassment and Muta control is much easier if you add into your Muta group, like a larva, a ling stuck behind a mineral. But the classic way to do it is with slow overlords. You usually don't get overlord speed for a while in ZVT. So you can group your overlords in a far point of the map, like even send them down here into the bottom left corner and put 1 overlord into your Muta stack, and that makes them look very tight. And I think he could have taken out a large group of Marines that way. Terran player looking good. Got it 2 vessels out. Muta coming out of the map. Gonna see this. Is Irradiate done? Probably Irradiate is done. I hope Irradiate's done. Hope you don't lose these Muta, man. Do see Ultra Cavern going down. If you're going for Crazy Zerg like this, you can just put down 2 caverns and just go both upgrades at the same time. Maybe you don't need to do that if you're gas starved, but it definitely makes your Ultra faster. If you're going for 1 cavern, you do start with the Carapace upgrade first. So we got +1 here. Let's see what the upgrades are. 1-1 on the Lings. So if we do want to go Crazy Zerg, it's ideal if we're up 1 Carapace above where the Terran attack is at. So we're going to be even on this game. Going up to racks here. Terran player is going to Expo. Our Zerg player can kind of see this. Being extra safe, putting down the bunker first. Got a large move out here. 1 Ultra on the map. So another thing is you don't want these Ultra out on the map and engaging before really you have the Carapace upgrade, which we're almost done with. Because there are tanks, right? The tanks are much more effective if they have a lot of armor. There's the Carapace upgrade kicking in. It's still falling very fast. So yeah, ideally what AC would have wanted done there is just gathered up a bunch of Ultras behind the safety of his Sunkens and really only moved out when he had a group that could contest this. Kill off a science vessel. But without the mass, we aren't able to deal with the M&M force that comes in and busts our natural. GG. Let's update our score. So we do have Jinjin and Pandora Patrol taking the lead with a 2-0 here in Tier 2. I think for the most part that build from AC did look good. It looked like he was doing the right things. I'm not sure what went wrong when he was massing after his hive was done. Maybe the Ultraless Cavern was a little bit late. But yeah, I don't know where the money was going. Pay a little bit closer attention to that next time. In the meantime, let's load up into the next game. We're gonna have a ZVP of Durandal versus Airn. I think that's how you say it, Airn? Please correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, loading up into game 2. Let's switch back into live. Going back to Sylphid. So on the top we have our teal Protoss player, Durandal. And down here we have, on the left hand side, we have our Protoss player, Airn. Let's see what this turns out to be. A lot of different openings in ZVP. Probably the most standard opening you see these days is fast expansions, so 3 base builds from the Protoss, or from the Zerg player, and 2 base expansion builds from the Protoss player. The 2 flavors of expansions from the Protoss player, you can have a gate expand or a forge expand. Both of those have different pros and cons. If you're going for a cannon expand, you're not going to have early aggression. You're going to be going heavy into econ, heavy into tech. Whereas if you're going for a gate expand, you're going to be going into econ, into aggression, and then focusing on tech. On the Zerg side, you can have different openings in terms of when you're getting your hatcheries, when you're getting your pool. Probably the most standard opening here is overpool into 3 base, 3 hatch. And then versus something like a forge expansion. So we do have a gate expansion. Something like a forge expansion, the Zerg player is able to tech and econ quite hard because none of that early aggression. But versus a gate expansion, the Zerg player is going to have to carefully balance how many lings he makes and how many drones he makes in order to not die to the early Z-lot pressure. Maybe it dies a little bit in over-exaggeration, not lose a lot of drones to the early Z-lot pressure. It's definitely much harder to play against. You're no longer going off a script, because definitely if you have overpool versus something like a forge expansion, ooh, tricky play here. I don't think the Zerg player scouted that yet, so maybe he will scout it. It's going to be a 2-gate here from the Protoss player. Let's see if he scouts it early enough. So overpool. Let's see, he's going up to 11. No, it wasn't overpool, sorry, it was 12 hatch. So this is definitely the best opening you could do versus a 2-gate. The reason for that is you have this hatchery finished much faster so that you can get your creep colony down. You also have more larvae. I don't think this was a 9-9. It was probably like a 10 and a 12. You got 3 zealots coming here, so it's not a super aggressive 2-gate. It's more like an economical 2-gate. So I believe you should be able to just deal this with straight up lings. However, if you are not super confident in your ling micro, then you want to put down a creep colony and make that into a sunken, and that shuts down 2-gate pretty hard, and then you can go into some sort of tech. Also, versus 2-gate, you don't want to be fighting like this. You want probably Wow, this is a crazy overreaction, I think. I think Aaron scouted a little bit late here. Didn't put down a sunken down his natural. Protoss player doing a lot of damage here, forcing a lot of sunkens. Aaron getting caught off guard a little bit by this opening. Let's see if the Protoss player runs away. Is he going to lose his Zealot? Yeah, he's going to lose his Zealot. That was a very costly mistake, being in range of the sunkens. Now we got our speedlings kicking in, and I think this got shut down. Or at least delayed enough where I think the Zerg has recovered, kind of stabilized. If he just makes lings from here on out, eventually gets maybe like a Spire to follow up on this, he should be okay. So ideally you don't want your lings here, right? You want to put pressure back on the Protoss player. You want your lings between his first group of Zealots and his base. This makes the Protoss player not be able to just completely come towards you, like aggress on you, and puts him in a situation where he has to make a decision on how to hold your counter harassment. And even if you get like 4 lings into this guy's main, he doesn't have that many probes, or didn't have that many probes earlier. So if you get in here, his next Zealots can't come and join his first Zealots down here, and the small group of Zealots you have down here, the initial like 3 Zealots, you can do drone drills plus Ling Micro to kind of deal with it. Really awkward positioning here by the Zerg player, like just the sunken like off in their corner of the base. Zealots are going a little bit too gung-ho and trying to kill the Hydralisk then. We do have a counter, so I missed the counter. The good play by the Zerg player is to go in and try to counter, forcing the... Oh, and he killed this. He killed the pylon too. I missed that too. So yeah, the Zerg player in a really good situation now. Got our follow-up lings. We don't have any way to power our gateways, so we can't make any Zealots. We do have a forge, but we are not making any cannons anywhere. Protoss player playing like Durandal here, playing very, very courageously, pretending like those lings aren't even there, and just going into his natural nexus, trying to mine minerals. I like it. But the Zergling's doing damage. So maybe some tips for next time. On this map, if you put your gateways, your initial gateways, a little bit more forward, you can actually have 2 gateways next to each other and really SimCity this choke pretty hard. I mean, yeah, you have these rocks over here, but you do shut down this hole a little bit harder. The other way you can do is put your forge here. So if you're going 2nd gateway behind, you want your forge here. But the follow-up, not very clean from our Protoss player. He's getting punished for it. Aaron comes in and snipes the pylon again, so now we're back down on 2 gates. Although, yeah, we still have a decent-ish probe count. I don't think we can actually power 4 gateways off that. We've got our lurkers morphing in. It's going to be GG pretty soon. GG. Got an early lead from our Zerg player. Let's see if the Protoss player can crawl back into this game. Good play there from the Zerg player, countering while the next sellout attack is going. Really caught the Protoss player with their pants down, trying to do a little bit too much all at once. Expo without any cannons. It's always a very... If you don't have a good city, that's very risky as a Protoss player. I gotta tell you guys, I have too many replay or folders in my replay folder. There we go. All right. Let's get into game 2. Up here in the top right-hand corner, we have our green Protoss player. So we are actually seeing the official race colors too. So this is pretty sweet. And down here in the bottom right, we have our Zerg player, our courageous nOm.Airn. Held off a dirty, filthy 2-gate and came out with a win on top. Durandal is on my team, but 2-gate. I can root for the other team if it's a 2-gate. It's allowed. Airn scouting up here, straight into the natural. Probably isn't going to need a drone scout. Maybe you want a drone scout. You do need to react a little bit differently if it's gate expansion. Let's see if he goes for a 2-hatch again. I missed the opening the other time around because I was focusing too much on on what the Zerg was doing with their drones, which I guess isn't the best use of my time. Let's see if it's going to be it's not a gate expansion this time around. It's going to be a forge first expansion. Not in love with this forge positioning. The pylon, it's hugging the pylon. Yeah, this should be a little bit more down, so you can have more like a cannon between this and the forge. So, Durandal, if you're watching this, please go look up or go and experiment with how you should be positioning your SimCity and your natural, so you have cannons between your pylon and your forge. We are seeing a 12 hatch here. It's even more greedy than that. It was like 12 hatch, 12 pool. So pretty greedy from Airn. I would cannon rush this if I was Durandal. I would definitely not make a cannon. You have no reason to make a cannon first here versus this opening because there's nothing that can kill you, right? The Lings aren't going to be for a while. Oh, he's going into attack even before Nexus. So I don't know. Maybe he's got some special build planned out. Very interesting. Let's see what this turns into. Normally, when you scout this, and you scout this quite early because it's a 2-player map, and you're going for this kind of fast expansion build, you put down a Nexus right after your forge. Or if you scout it early enough, you don't even have to put a forge down. You can completely reorder all your buildings to get into that Nexus as fast as possible. Airn is not going for a third base, so these are some tricky builds from both sides. Gonna be a layer. Airn pretending this is ZVT. Maybe going for like a lurker bus. Maybe going for like... Felt like that drone was gonna make a Hydrodyne, but it does not. Maybe going for like a fast spire. Durandal getting his +1. This feels like some kind of 4-gate speed lot all-in. And is the Zerg player? Yeah, I think Airn's gonna scout it. He's gonna go and check if there's a Nexus. We'll see. We'll check that in a second. Actually, let's check that now. Is there a Nexus? Does he see it? He sees it. He must see it. He must know something weird is up. Good thing he's not on 3 base, although he could probably hold this at 3 base. Getting his 3rd hatchery in his base, getting a lair, droning. he transferred too many drones into his natural. He doesn't have that saturation there, so yeah, that's something to fix. A 4th hatchery here. 4 hatch 2 base. Hawk style almost here. What's it gonna be? Hydrogen. Yeah, this is definitely looking Hawk style. Getting trying to get a SimCity here. Not sure if this is tight on this side, but we'll see that when the Zealots come in. Durandal. Definitely going from some sort of speed lot build before going into, well, he keeps on teasing this Nexus, man. Aaron is doing a very good job scouting. This is why you want to put the Overlord into the Protoss player's base, because they could be doing all types of cheese strats versus you. Getting into DT here, so maybe this is a Zella and DT timing. This is something that I've seen Kala do on his channel, so maybe Durandal's a Kala subscriber. Let's see what's happening over here for the Zerg player. Yeah, just going into Lurker. Good counter build here, going into Lurker. This may turn into a long game. Just droning up. He's not super scared versus this. We're starting to get up to a large amount of Zealots. Going into the base. There's no Sares, right? Since there's no Sares, there's no reason why this Overlord can't go in. Speed is going to be done soon. What's the follow-up? Storm is the follow-up. Okay. And now we're going to have the expansion from the Toss player. Are the Lurkers going to finish? They're just going to finish now. Is he going to attack in? No. There's no way he was going to bust that, especially with the Lurker eggs here. Maybe just pick off some free units. So very, very nice defense from Aaron. He was droning pretty hard until he didn't need to. He got a SimCity here. I mean, this is not tight and not tight here, but the Lurker eggs let it be tight. Let's see what he goes into from here. Very nice. He got an Evo here, but did he start his upgrades? So with this type of opening, you want to be getting like getting your +1s for your Hydra started around 7 minutes. So we're a little bit delayed here. Also not using our money. Gotta use your money, man. Just looking at how this game is playing out, if he had used his money, I think he would have had enough. He's got a lot of money banked up. I think he could have just ended the game with a counterattack. Oh, there was a good storm here, 5 kills. The Protoss player is soft containing the Zerg. Which is a little bit weird to see. Like, if Aaron was using his money and making Hydra, he would have map control right now. Especially since the Protoss opening wasn't econ intensive. The Nexus was very delayed. Before you have Storm out, if you get up to a large amount of Hydra versus just Speed Zeals, they are very, very effective against Speed Zeals in large numbers. Let's see what Durandal's follow-up here, getting his upgrade. So he's already got +1 attack, getting +2 attack now. Yeah, getting +2 attack. Is there a second forge? There's not a second forge. Going up to 5 gate, pumping up Zealots. Using Storms. Very good here. He's not gonna... Aaron trying to pick off these Templar, but did not succeed. Quick reaction. Back out, back out. He does get 1 Templar. He must know there are Lurkers here, because he was storming 1. So this is like an example of what you should be doing with your storm. In the meantime, when you're not really doing a big army fights, you can use storm like Turan uses Irradiate. or just kind of go in, find the Zerg army, storm some units, and then back off. That softens up the Zerg army. If the Zerg is slow on reacting, then you're going to get some free Hydra kills, maybe get a free Lurker kill in time to time. This is getting a little bit risky though. I think Aaron's getting to the point where he's got a lot of army. Also surprised that Durandal does not scout this expansion over here. I feel like Aaron's getting away with it for free. So I think this group could easily go and clean this up. But then again, I think Aaron's got a lot of Hydra at this point, so he could just kind of bust out. There's only almost 2 storms here. Is he going to go for it? Yeah. Nice job scouting, or sniping them. Really nice job sniping both the Templar and the Observer. Slow Hydra though. Late Hydra speed. Very low probe count here for Durandal. Only on 30 probes. On 2 base, you probably want to be at around like 45 probes. If you're going for something like 8 gate. 7 gate right now. Yeah, very low probe count for the Protoss player. So make sure you're making more probes. Engaging without an observer. Yeah, you don't want to fight without observers. And you don't want to really engage lurkers with just straight up lane. Oh, now we're getting some. Well, we don't have an observer. Now we're getting some goons. So with like a more standard game, if both are going for fast expansions, free Templar snipe, small army engagement. Usually you have, at the start of the game, lots of Zealots, and then that's going to be either versus, probably in the standard game, it's going to be versus lots of Hydra. And then you're going to have Storm added into that, so Zealot Storm is going to be quite effective against just Hydra, so then the Zerg player switches into Hydra Lurk to counter that, and so the Protoss player needs to switch into Goon and Storm to counter that composition. So you have this kind of like ebb and flow as they're hitting their text trees. And then to counter all of that, the Zerg player gets into Hive, starts to get cracklings. Are we going to go for another macro hatchery here? The Zerg player also low drone count. Durandal is adding in some more probes, that's good. Probably want around 40, like I said, 45 drone probes for 2 base, and then you want to go up to like 55, maybe 60-ish on 3 base. Once you start getting into mid to late game, oh, there's a fight here, I missed it, and it did not go well for our Protoss player. He was very Zealot heavy. Gotta use your money, guys. Durandal's keeping it under 1,000, but Aaron's regularly going over 1,000, so I want to be doing a macro cycle. I think it was Hawk that was saying that if you're not building units off of hotkeys, you should be building units in 50-second cycles, because it takes 50 seconds for a hatchery to get all 3 larvae. So yeah, when you're not watching your army, every 50 seconds, just quickly go back to your base and use all your larvae. Get a hive started here. What are got a double Evo down here in the bottom right, but you can't really see it because it's under the overlay, but trust me, it's there. Hydra upgrades 1-1. What are the upgrades on our Protoss player? Just 2-0, and he's slacking on the next upgrade. He's massing up. Not super liking this composition. He has a good position though, up on the hill. A little bit. He lost a lot of Zealots earlier with that engagement. Protoss player taking a sneaky 3rd base over here on the side, with 3 brave Dragoons, kind of trying to duke it out there. There are some lurkers here. Thank you, chat. Bring these down. He's not going to see it. Wonder what these lurkers. I wonder if the Zerg player saw this base. Maybe he saw this base. Yeah, he must have seen this base. That's going to get shut down pretty fast. Still seeing about a 30 gap. Yeah, this gets shut down pretty fast. Got observer speed. 2-1 on our Hydra. We're starting to outpace the Protoss player in terms of upgrades. This is likely to fall. Airn is not attacking up this cliff. The Protoss player is attacking into lurkers. There's a really good write-up by Crane on the Bag of Builds Discord on how you should be taking these mid to late game engagements, Protoss versus Zerg, so definitely check that out. The gist of it is when you're to the point where the Zerg player has lurkers. Has he cleaned this up? Not yet. When you're to the point where the Zerg player has lurkers, something's fighting somewhere. Okay, I didn't miss anything. When you're to the point where the Zerg player has lurkers, you don't want to engage, like move your entire army in. You want to kind of chip away at the Zerg army with storms. And the best way to do that is to put your goons forward with stormers right behind, storm, and then kind of move with your goons. Usually the Zerg player is set up like this, where they have the lurkers forward in a lurker field, and then they have a bunch of units behind that. Because as soon as you move in, then the Zerg player is going to send in a little bit of units to draw storms before really sending in everything where they think that your storms are worn out. The Protoss player on the other side is storming to soften up the Zerg army, trying to kill the lurkers, or at least get the lurkers down a little bit. Got this ninja group down here. Durandal having trouble clearing out these lurkers. We are 2-2 now. Those are some beefy lurkers. Cleaning up this ninja group of Hydra. Airn going for an expo here. Lots of resources on both sides. Let's take a look at what the Zerg's macro setup here is. We got 3, 5, 7 with an 8th hatchery coming in. So when you're on this, he is on a low drone count, usually on 3 base like this, 4 base coming in. You want to be on around like 50-ish drones. So a little bit, not enough drones there. And you probably want to be on like 9 to 10 hatches. It all depends on how good you are about using your hatcheries. If you're not good about using your hatcheries, then you want more hatcheries. Make 11 hatcheries, go for it. But if you're good about using your larvae, you can go 8, 9 hatcheries. So I'd like to see more hatcheries here from Airn. He's playing very defensively. And that's perfectly fine. He's just got his lurker field. He's waiting for the Protoss to make a mistake. A lot of times Protoss players will just get frustrated when you're set up defensively like this and just move into your lurker field, and then the game will got a scout out here. Then game will drastically swing in favor of the Zerg, and they can start taking about expansions left and right. But that's not happening this game. Got some spores here. I guess this one scout has scared him into making some spores. What's down here? What is down? It's a spire. Okay. This expansion gets found out. So while the Zerg player is set up defensively here, they are not set up defensively here. So if you want to secure this base, you probably want a lurker field here, or even better up here. Protoss player is in a good spot in terms of a bottleneck, but the Zerg player is doing a really good job on upgrades. They're way ahead in terms of upgrades. Still taking that fight. There's some units here that kind of went up in the wrong direction. If those were part of the fight, this army would have been wiped. So he does take out this 4th expansion. Zerg player back on 3 base. Went into Ultralisks. Upgrades are very important. Comes here with his Hydra to clean this up. Upgrades are a very important part of CPP. If you think about it from the Zerg perspective, you've really got to get 3 things down to scale and outlast and beat the Protoss player. You got to get your econ down, you got to get your upgrades down, and you got to get your tech down. So, I mean like hive tech by that. Defilers, cracklings are the main thing there. Following the Hydra conga line. Sneaky drop here. This is like a ninja shuttle. What's the shuttle doing? It's empty. Boom. Ninja Hydra take out the ninja shuttle. No 3rd from the Protoss player yet. Getting in a Ser here. Just 1 Ser. 3rd base over here. Want to add on some more cannons. Airn, you need a macro, man. Imagine if the 3,000 was Hydralisk. Yeah, pretty good map vision from Airn as well. This is what you can do when the Protoss player doesn't have Corsair. And this is what made Zerg OP in the original StarCraft. Back in my day, you would just Overlord spread the entire map, and you can counter everything in terms of army movement from the Protoss player. Nowadays we have Sers, and we have to deal with those. Usually built to kind of force the Zerg player into not making like lots of mutas. Got a storm drop here somewhere. No, it was just in the middle of the map to kill off a lurker. It's 1 Zealot getting. Those are some really confident Protoss units. That 1 Brave Zealot trying to take on an Ultra. That's at 5-0. Jeez, man. The upgrade advantage is ridiculous. And then these 4 Templar trying to storm the Ultra to death and doing absolutely nothing to it. Got some units over here out on the map. Got some units out here out on the map. Airn going for this 3rd base, trying to kill that. Making lurkers in his face. Really slow reaction time from Durandal. Finally getting some DT over here. And 4 goons. Oh, are these gonna burrow? They are gonna burrow. No observers. Oh, this is gonna be like 11 kills. Could have been worse. Not great, not terrible. 12 kills. Got your ninja group of... Is my replay broken? It seems like my replay is broken. Small groups of Hydras going around the map. Ninja Hydras. Getting Observer over here. to kill this lurker. Got a small fight over here. Not loving the small groups of Protoss units all over the map. I feel like Zerg shines when small army engagements and absolutely buckles when it's big army engagements. Especially versus like a late game Protoss ball. So I think at this point in the game it'd be better for Durandal to kind of group his army together and try to ball it. Very low drone count all throughout the game. Going to try to take that fourth again. Getting some free Scourge kills. Trying to take out this third. Durandal is mined out here. Taking a fourth base. He's only got one mining base right now. Whereas the Zerg player is on a base and a half. A little bit less than that. These are almost gone. So it's getting into like a funky kind of game state. The Protoss player needs to get this base up, so they're playing defensively. The Zerg player is also playing defensively, even though they have a very big upgrade advantage. They're at 3-3 here. I don't see what the Lings are at, but I'm guessing the Lings are also at 3-3. The Protoss player is behind in upgrades. Next is going to come in soon. Misplaced hatchery here. Now we got a big wave. Oh, some Muta coming in. That might catch the Protoss player off guard. Although he's making a lot of cannons now. A lot of cannons here. DT here. Yeah, he's probably not going to be able to do anything about this base now that there are DT here. You probably would need to go into Defiler to break that now. This is a little bit easier to break. It's only one Templar here. Got a 2 Archon attack coming into this fourth base. Let's see how the reaction goes. Oof. That was like 30% of the Zerg players' drones. That does get cleaned up pretty fast, but it did kill a lot of drones. Aaron is opting not to remake the drones. Okay, he's making some now. Only 2. Let's see what this Muta get done. Not grouping the Muta. It would be a little bit hard versus this kind of army composition. He's trying to go for this, but I don't think he's going to have much luck. Now he's grouping the Muta. Going to have an attack into here with no obs. Trying to Muta micro over here, so 2 fights going on. Lurker's not burrowed. These 3 burrowed lurkers would have shut this down, right? Muta kind of going around the base, but they're all very bruised. Shutting this down. These Muta are so bruised that they're just going to die to like 1 cannon. Get some probe kills here though. The Lings are at 1-3. Still have a ways to go. Let's see if Durandal gets these Muta, cleans this up. Doing a decent amount of damage to the probe line. Protoss army going in here and cleaning up this base, and Zerg has no more, like, he's got a big, but he's got no mining bases. Alright, let's see what the reaction time on the storms here is. no storms go down. One storm goes down. There were 2 storms go down. There were like 5 or 6 Templar there, and then only 2 storms got off, so. Got a Ninja Templar here, and this is going to clean up all of this. Got another storm yet. With storm there. Alright. So it looks like Durandal's gonna pull this game back, which is very surprising for me because Airn was in a. Airn at one point had a massive lead. He had a better opening, much more econ focused opening. So I'm not sure what fell apart here. I think the first thing is his army positioning. He kept on resupplying this area right here and was not protecting this side of the map. This map is very ramp heavy, so if you set up lurker fields like here and here, or start even here, you protect these expos first and then you move your lurkers up and you get this, grab this expo, right? So if he's going for this type of defensive play, and you can treat this game as single player and just go into lurker, Hydra lurker defense in a sort of sense, like you know those UMS maps with sunken defense, just do the same thing with Hydra lurker. Just make lurkers, make Hydra behind it, set them up to protect your bases. And I think for how Durandal is playing this game with very small armies attacking in, that would have made it that he can't do anything versus that type of setup, that type of play. The other thing that was really hurting him was he didn't get his second and third drone cycles in. He was really on a opening build drone count for most of the game. When you open up something like 3 hatch, 3 base, then go into like 3 hatch Spire into 5 hatch Hydra in like a normal opening, you have these drone cycles. So you have your initial drone cycle when you're just doing the build up until you're up to 5 hatch, where you're just about on 33-ish drones, something like that. After that, you're making some Hydra to defend against the first Z-Lot push out. Once you get defend against the first Z-Lot push out, you can make a probe cycle, because you have enough army to defend against the Zealots. At the same time, you're getting lurker upgrade, and the time that lurker upgrade finishes, you have your 4th base about to come up, and you get another drone cycle in. So after those 2 drone cycles, you're up to about 55 drones. And that puts you on 4 base, 55 drones, maybe a little bit more, in a really good spot in terms of Defiler Den is up. A really good spot in terms of going into late game. And you're on 9 hatch. So there are build improvements here for Airn. Just go into single player, kind of get your build progression down. No matter what the openings are, usually ZVP ends up in the same state. Lots of hatches, good decent amount of drones. Maybe you don't want to go into like Ash Return level of like 80, 90 drones, but definitely want to have more than you had. As for Durandal, I think there's some optimization that can be done with the build that you did. Could have had more gates faster for a more intensive Zealot push, but then again, Airn, it probably wasn't going to do anything to Airn because he was set up really well to defend against that. And then in the late game, after you got your Nexus up, you were low on your probe count. Should have started probing again as soon as you were taking your natural expansion. Maybe should have taken that natural expansion a little bit earlier. And some of these engagements, these little army fights, were not ideal. Like, lost a lot of zealots to lurkers for free. One mining base here for the Zerg. Protoss is back on 3 mining bases. Being super careful. I think he's a little bit more scared of Airn than he needs to be. Okay, there's the GG. Alright, series tied up at 1-1. Let's go into game 3. Let's see who wins this. Down here in the bottom right corner, looks like Polypoid, is our Zerg hero Airn. And down here in the bottom left, again in the Protoss and Zerg colors, and I love that this happened. Maybe they chose colors, is Durandal. So let's see what the strategies are for this game. Airn scouting in non-traditional way and going to go straight to the Protoss player. Let's see what the opening builds are going to be. Polypoid like probably the practice map that has most heavily replaced Fighting Spirit, although I feel like Vermeer is going to be the one that replaces Fighting Spirit or Polypoid next. Lots of games in CPL on Polypoid for practice. Okay, we got a single gate build from Durandal. Airn is saying that his carpal tunnel is kicking in. It's not something to shake a stick at. My roommate in college had carpal tunnel, and we used to play a lot of 2v2 on US East, but we couldn't really get a lot of games in. He did end up getting the surgery, which helped him, and he did end up getting like more ergonomic mouse and stuff that really helped him as well. But yeah, StarCraft definitely not a good game if you got wrist problems. 2-gate. In-base 2-gate. Not liking the gate positioning. Gate positioning could be a little bit closer to the ramp or under the ramp. This is a good map to go 2-gate, like in to sim off your choke, but maybe he wants the ramp after that first game. This is actually kind of funny. I don't think he saw him. Let's turn the vision off. Yeah, I don't think he sees him. Will he see the Zealot? Oh, he sees the Zealot now. Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say. So let's how he did go for 12 hatch again. So lots and lots of 12 hatching. I gotta say, you're very courageous, Airn. I would not 12 hatch against Protoss. Every time I 12 hatch or hatch first, I get cannon rushed. 3 Zs coming across the map. Gas going up. Durandal macroing his probes up. Airn making the sunken colony in his base to defend. Why not down here? They would have been finished in time, right? Yeah, I feel like he's gonna... He got an Overlord block too, it feels like. Yeah, I think he forgot to build his Overlord at 16, which really makes these Zealots much, much more. Is he gonna get the hatch? He may not get the hatch. Good surround. Oh, look, the Lings run away right when they're winning. It's a little bit of miss micro there. There's definitely enough Lings to kill that. It felt like he moved over the Zealots or something and then just got a bunch of... Yeah, that's... I don't know, maybe the last game drained Airn of all his Zerg energy. These Sunkens definitely should have been down there and it would have been an easy hold. Like I said in the first game, like 12 hatch is probably the best build you can do versus this opening, where it's like a 10-12 and it's in base. Like the travel time is ridiculous. So you have early creep spread. You have the money because you're going 12 hatch. Really should have had Sunkens down here, and then it would have been a very different game. This one Zealot going in here, being sneaky to try to figure out what the tech status is at. Airn is opting to go for Hydroden. Probably want to go into like lurkers to push this out. Durandal is expanding. Good. Getting his tech up. No forge. I would definitely go for a forge. Oh, he's going for the gas. I don't know. This is a very risky move for a 50 cost building. Yes, that was definitely a very risky move, and he lost his soft contain, and he doesn't have... Let me get rid of the map. What's the map? No forge. No forge. Is that a forge? That's a support bay. It could go kill him right now. Defensive play. Getting the natural again. Lurkers are just starting now. But yeah, you can go kill this Nexus right now. So when you see that as Zerg, when you see the Protoss player giving you their Zealots for free, you should immediately, that should immediately trigger aggression in you. You should go and see if you can punish them for that. You got all those Zealots for free, you lost maybe some Lings, and you have a decent army count right now. Speedlings are very good versus Zealots, slow Zealots without +1. Now we're getting cannons in. Where was the forge? Oh, now it's there. Okay. I did not see this hit in third base. Cool, cool. Sneaky base. Still like I was scouting this. 4 Zealots, 1 cannon. Lurk like a Ling all in. no SimCity. I would just Ling all in. Durandal is scouting. Very good play from Durandal. When you're ahead, get more ahead. How do you get more ahead? Make sure your opponent doesn't have a sneaky base. He's gonna find the sneaky base. No sneaky base for you, my friend. Spire coming up. Lurker done. Range up here. Come on, Zealot friends. Do we have leg speed done yet? No, leg speed is a little bit away. Got some speedlings coming up here. 4 zealots. Is +1 going? +1 is going. So let's see if he waits for his speed. I don't think he's going to be able to do anything, even with speed and +1. It's only 7 zealots, and that is a lot. It's 2 Sunkens and a lot of Zerglings. Observer out. There are no lurkers on the map. Are there lurkers over here? No, it's just an overlord. 3 cannons. Speed and +1 almost going to be done soon. Aaron is just he's got some muta coming. Yep. That could put our Protoss friend into a bit of a trouble because we don't have any cannons here. We don't have any cannons here. Of course, he's scouting this. So that's probably sneaky base here from the Protoss player to react to this. Let's see how this does. It's very strong now that there are more zealots. Yeah, I think if you're... Oh, lurker drop, or Reaver drop down here. Kills all the drones in the natural. But we got lurkers in the main. All sorts of crazy stuff going on. Got a couple of goons coming out. No cannons back here either. So this is going to be strong as well. These muta get drawn into the cannons. And in the meantime, 4 zealots come in here and kill this natural. Still more zealots here. A little bit of like just a little bit of bad luck from our Zerg player here. He had lurker upgrades, but he didn't get lurkers. There were obs late. There was just some lurkers here that would have stopped this. The muta went aggressive and they just missed the drop. Things could have gone very differently if small little things, like small little situations, played out differently. Imagine if the muta intercepted the Reaver drop. Imagine if there were some lurkers here earlier. Aaron would have been in a good spot. There we go. Aaron, GG's out. Let's go into our third and final set from this Tier 2 week. I think there were some walkovers. That's why we don't have 4 games. It's going to be Hexe versus Memnon. Up here in the top base is our purple player Hexe. And down here in very dark blue is Memnon. So we got Memnon playing with like the cursed colors. Let's see what this is going to turn into. What kind of builds we're going to have here. I really don't like playing versus players that have these dark colors. I usually shift tab to make sure they're at least red on the mini-map. It's just super hard to see their army movement otherwise. Nothing out of the ordinary here. Protoss player likely going for a fast expansion, but let's see if he goes for a trick build like Durandal did in that first game. What do we got here? Is it going to be an overpool, or are we going to see another fast hatch build? It's going to be an overpool. Overpool about like 5 seconds later. But this is a weird spot to figure out what the first minerals that you mine on. If you didn't know, there are mineral optimizations that you can do in StarCraft that make you get minerals much faster. There are automatic ones and then there are manual ones. The automatic ones are if you place your drone in the correct position to some mineral patches, it's dependent on the starting location, they just mine faster. And it's usually, for example, these patches here. If you put your drone here or your probe here and it returns to, well, I don't think it matters for probes, but definitely for drones, if you put them at a right angle, it will return to the corner of the hatch and just turn around much faster. So you can get a couple of seconds optimization that way. Now the other thing is just which minerals you start with. Usually you want to start with these 5 mineral patches. These are the ones that mine fastest, at least on the starting location, with no manual boosting. Then you kind of go into this patch, these 2 patches, and finally this patch. If you're using mineral optimizations like the manual boosting ones, that's where you're hitting return cargo manually as drones are coming back, then it's a little bit different. But just doing that, just sending your first drones, your first workers to the correct mineral patches, gives you a 5-second time difference in when your pool goes down. That is something to work on. Building an extractor with a mineral in its mouth, not great. Just return the mineral before you go and do that. Going for a regular 3-hatch build, it looks like. This is all looking very standard. Forge fast expansion, he's going for the cannon kill. He's going for the run by. 3 lings get in. Let's see what comes of this. Late on gas, 3rd up here. Good 3rd location, got a ramp, much easier to defend than this one, which is much more open. Let's see what these lings get done. 1 ling just chilling out here, getting some coffee. This is super annoying for the Protoss player. So what's the easiest thing to harass when you're in this situation? It's this. It's the probes mining gas. Don't go for these guys. These guys can easily drill you. Go for these guys. Or go for this pylon. Pylon doing its best to survive. Yeah. Pylon kill being super annoying. This is definitely taking Royale APM away from our Protoss player, but it's also taking APM from our Zerg player. Let's see how he did in the meantime. He's got his Spire going. He droned. So he managed that pretty well. The Protoss player, on the other hand, also doing not too shabby. So next time, try to harass the probes mining the gas. And once you harass the probes mining the gas, you can start picking up buildings that are away from the mineral line. That will force the probes to drill out here. And when they drill out here, that's when you can go and pick off some more probes. Corsair is... Let's see if it gets here before the Spire finishes. But I think it's gonna... The Spire is just right on time. I'm gonna go scout to make sure that he's not going Hydra. He's not going to see anything because he's got a sunken here. Got a safety sunk in here as well. Making some lings. Not sure I like this. I mean, we just delayed the Protoss player, right? We're just really super annoying. Plus, we got an Overlord here, seeing that he's only got 2 Zealots. Unless he's hiding a third gate, or a second gate and a third gate over here, he's got nothing much to hide. And you saw that he was teching, he wasn't making a second gate, so it's very weird for me to make all these lings. Unless he's going for a ling all-in. Maybe he is going for a ling all-in. Okay, let's see. Low drone count. Lings do get into the main. Running around here. Gonna follow up with Ling Flood now. A little bit of a mistake there from Memnon, not plugging the holes in his wall. So you want 1 Zealot down here and 2 Zealots up here, but he had 2 Zealots down here and 1 Zealot up here. If it was the other way around, that would have not done any damage. This Corsair did not get any kills. Memnon going into more gates. So I guess I do like the Ling Flood in that situation. Maybe it was before the 3rd Zealot popped out and Hexe saw an easy win there. So good move. But that 3rd Zealot did pop out right at a good time for Memnon to actually block it pretty well. So it was risky. We're at the point where Protoss players should probably have about 42, 45 probes. We're at 30, so this harassment has been impacting them quite heavily. He's usually also past the point of time when we have a +1 Zealot push. Coming in with some Hydra here. Let's see what these Hydra get done. I think the Hydra Flood is going to likely end it all because we don't have Storm. That's probably the biggest issue here. You really need to get this Templar Archive started very early, like around 6 minutes or before 6 minutes. Otherwise, this is going to happen. So good on Hexe, executing the build. 3-hatch Spire into 5-hatch Hydra. Getting the Hydra going before Storm is up. And going for the quick kill. Alright, let's go into the next game. So Hexe had taken an early lead in the last match. Let's see if he can 2-0 it or if it goes to 1-1. In the top right hand corner, we have Hexe in the purple color. And the bottom right, we have Memnon in the dark blue color. Scouting down to the natural of the Protoss player. Let's see what the builds turn out here. Definitely prefer to open overpool on 2-player maps because it's just so easy for the probe to find you. Really, it feels as a Zerg player, it feels like the probe always gets there like way too early. Even if it's like a 4-player map. It could be an 8-player map, and I feel like the probe would be in your base right at the time when you're going to expand anyways. I don't know, secret map hacks. Going for a fast expansion. Let's see if it's gate first or forge first. Forge first is definitely much safer to play. Gate first requires you to go through an entire seminar in terms of how to make zealots, how to use the zealots, when to defend, when not to defend. Have to scout with your probe to make sure you understand exactly what the Zerg player is doing. Yeah, this is super annoying when the probe gets there super early and you can't put down the pool that easily. Or the hatch at the natural that easily. Scouting to see the opening. Cannon first. You can get away with Nexus before cannon versus overpool, and this is a map where the rush distance is really long, even though it's a 2-player map. So you can definitely get away with a cannon after Nexus. 13 Nexus, 13 cannon. But Memnon being safe, going for cannon then Nexus. Got 3 Zerglings from Hexe. 3 pairs of Zerglings from Hexe. Maybe was scared of getting Manor Pyloned. Setting up to take a 3rd base here. Memnon getting his gateway. Should be getting his gas next. And then a 2nd pylon. Or a 2nd pylon, then his gas. Gas is late at this point. Not killing this scouting probe. Not even acknowledging that exists. Okay, there we go. Got some lings going. Got our gas going. Gonna run it again. Dang, man. I guess the Zealot was late. Hexe got these really good run-ins, run-bys. This time with 4 lings. Yeah, this is gonna be super annoying. But again, just the targeting isn't that great here. When you're in this situation, I'd probably go for the gas and just camp the gas. He's making a cannon this time. Camp the gas, camp this, maybe start hitting on the Nexus to force the Protoss player to not mine, because that's another thing. The Protoss player is going to be losing mining time because they have to keep on drilling to try to kill your lings. But good defense from Memnon, but I think it had more to do with Hexe's target picking than it was with Memnon defending. Now we should be in a good SimCity. Hexe's doing the build behind this. He's got enough APM to be able to multitask, to harass, and do the build at the same time. Don't like these Sunkens. Absolutely no need to get these Sunkens, especially with a run-by. There's no way in hell the Protoss player can do anything to you after that run-by and getting delayed so much. Forcing another cannon before you even start the Cyber Core. Only really 1 Zealot, so this is just wasted minerals at this point in time. Got an Overlord here, making sure that he's not doing any move-outs, and if he does move-outs, just make some lings. You're gonna have speed lings. Okay, going straight into Looks like more economic Hydra opening. Let's see if the Storm is on time this game. And definitely Storm needs to be on time this game. Oh, I didn't notice this. I think these are out of position because the Zealot can go through here. So yeah, I could have even ended this with another Link Flood because there was only one Zealot for a really long time. Memnon is going for a +1 speed lot push. Hexe droning up. Not opting to go Spire this game. I wonder what the decision making behind that was. Yeah, very, very, very interested to see why he didn't go Spire this game. In a situation like this where the Protoss player is going for a speed lot push and isn't going for Sarah, then Muta are very, very strong. Especially if you SimCity well. SimCity kind of weak here. Maybe want a building here. Maybe the hatch should be like over here off to the side and a building here and then a sunken behind. So you have like an L SimCity. You need to go into single player and figure this out. But it feels like you can definitely get a better SimCity here. The one over here is fine. Clog this hole with some Hydra and the Zealots aren't going to do anything. A little bit low on probes, but then again he did get ran by. Is that the proper English for that? He did get ran by. Templar Archives late. Zerg is on 37 drones. Starting Hydralist production. If I were a betting man, I feel like he's going to stop this push and then we're going to see a repeat of last game with Storm being too late. Let's see how it goes. Taking a 4th base. Very fast 4th base. Well, maybe not. Less Hydra on this, but Hexe has good reaction. Going over to help these out. Might want to supplement with drones here. Doing a drone drill. Getting 1 drone, 2 drones. Very good defense. 3 drones. Okay, very good defense. And now the Protoss player is Protoss player's got a problem. The Protoss player's got the problem, and the problem is that he's dead. There's no Storm. He just threw away his only way to delay the Hydra push, and that's pretty much running around like crazy with his Zealots across the map and delaying the Hydra from going and A moving because they need to defend against the Zealots. Is Hexe just gonna run in here? I feel like he should. Playing a little bit scared. He's got the speed over, so he can like go in and see if there's a Templar. Maybe he's just scared or there's going to be a Storm. Oh, backing off is a safe play as well. Lurkers coming in. Lurkers are a tiny bit late, but from the state of this game, it's fine. Does he have +1? He does have +1, so +2 coming in. You do ideally want a second Evo chamber by this point so you can start +1 carapace along with your +2 attack, so you get 2-1 Hydra. So that's something to improve here for Hexe. Just setting up a soft contain. Lurkers are done. Let's get some lurkers, Hexe. I'm getting a little bit worried. Because if the Protoss player comes out now, oh, look at that bank, man. That is a seriously crazy bank. He's a little bit late on adding more gateways. He really should be up to 8 gate right now. If he'd just been on 8 gate and just gone Zealot Temp, Hexe might have had a little bit of a problem dealing with this. Especially if he got some good storms in. But Memnon playing scared, not using his money. Getting Templar energy, +50 Templar energy. Once these lurkers are in, I think it's going to be, again, a really good game state for the Zerg. No ops, too. Oh, but very clumped up lurkers. Oh, not super great. Not a super great fight there for the Protoss player. He had good initial storms. I think he could have just killed all those lurkers as well, but a little bit slow on cycling through his Templar and getting storms off. I would have liked Hexe to have these lurkers spread a little bit more, because that was very dangerous for him. Let's see how this fight goes. Very strong push in here. No obs out yet. No obs. GG. Alright, so Hexe had taken that last game 2-0. And with that, we end today's cast. We have Crimea Reaver taking the tier 2 matches 2-1. And I think there are only the tier 3 matches left to cast for this matchup for this week. Thank you very much for tuning in. Feel free to drop me some feedback in Discord because this is the first time I've been casting. Let me know how I did. Now I need to go to sleep because it's very late.